Hey man, what's up? What's happening? You already know who it is and what it is. It's your boy Nephew Q, host of Conversations with Q, a show about life, love, entertainment, society, and culture, everything all into one. But before I get into today's episode, I need everybody to hit that like, share, and subscribe button on the YouTube channel, Conversations with Q, or you can listen to the podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms. If you're on social media, make sure you check out the Conversations with Q 23 Instagram page. But today, I want you guys to check out this book by Alicia Caldwell Henderson, Young, Dumb, and Naive. You can catch it. You can get this book on Amazon. Make sure you cop that book. It's a great read. I'm going to leave it up here for the people who are watching right now. So go ahead and cop that book. Now, let's get into today's installment of Conversations with Q. And I was hit up today by somebody who is dealing with a situation, right? I'm going to tell you what it says. I'm going to put it down at the bottom so you guys can see it as I'm reading along. She said, "Hey, sir, my husband is talking about price rate of a prostitute with his friends. When I am not at home, I am at my parents' home. What should I do? I am feeling so depressed." Well, Nadia Sandy, I hope I said your name right. Okay, a couple of things here. First and foremost, I don't know the backstory of everything. I don't know how long you guys have been together, how long you guys have been dating, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what it sounds like to me is that you guys need to have a uncomfortable conversation, right? And ask him, and he may lie. I don't know. Like I said, this is your husband. You know him way better than I do, obviously, clearly. But, ask him, has he already cheated on you? Because if he's talking about it, then the next logical step is to, you see what I'm saying? So have that uncomfortable conversation and, read his body language, read his face. You know him, so you can probably tell when he's telling the truth or when he's not. You know what I'm saying? I would hope so anyways. Ask him, why is he entertaining the thought of potentially, wanting to get a prostitute or wanting to know the rates of prostitutes? Ask him, why is he even entertaining the thought? And once he gives you his answer, based upon that, ask him, has your sex life fizzled out? And if it has fizzled out, is there anything that you guys can do to regain that spark back? Or even if he wants to get that spark back. Now, if he doesn't want to get that sexual spark back with you, then that's a conversation that you need to have with him and a decision that you guys may need to make. Because let's be honest, if you're in a marriage and you and your husband or your significant other get to a point to where y'all not sexually active with each other and y'all haven't had the conversation of why you're not sexually active with each other and trying to regain that spark back, and you guys just continue on with your marriage, let's just be honest, your significant other, if they're not getting it from you over the course of time, they're going to get it from somebody else. Because let's be honest, we're all adults. We all have needs at the end of the day, right? So if you're married to someone and you're not giving them what they need sexually, then eventually, like I said, if you haven't had the conversation of how y'all can, figure it out, but eventually, if you guys don't have that conversation, it's going to lead to more damage. It's going to lead to more harm than good in that situation. And you got to think about it like this, and also don't be that naive and thinking, oh, my husband would never, do this, that, and the third. Listen, I'm going to keep it a buck, just being a man. We only going to go so long with pleasuring ourselves if you're not going to pleasure us before we start venturing out and, possibly seeing what else could possibly be out there. And don't be so naive that you think that your husband is not going to do anything if you're not doing anything for him. But anyways, also think about it like this. When you go grocery shopping, when you go clothes shopping, whatever shopping that you like to do in your leisure time, when you go, you're looking at price points, right? Why? Why are you looking at the prices of things? To see what fits within your budget. So if he's talking to his friends about the rates and everything, he's trying to see what fits within his budget that he could quite possibly pull off and do without you having to find out about it. Now, it seems to me that you haven't had a conversation with your husband about this, because it seems to me that you know about it, but you haven't had a conversation. So that is step one. You need to address the situation with your husband and let him know, hey, look, I'm not going to tell you how I found out, but I know that you are currently talking to your friends about the rates of prostitution. Now, once you figure that part out, then, what I talked about earlier, that conversation needs to happen. That uncomfortable conversation needs to happen once you address, why and how long he's been talking to his friends and the fact that you know about this. So make sure you get that question out of the way first. And then, once you have this conversation with him, depending on how it goes, if it goes well, if he's willing to work at it, if he's willing to tell you, hey, look, we haven't had this, that, and the third in a long time, and you don't do this anymore, this, that, and the third, and you guys are willing to work on it, then you're good. If he's willing to go to, marriage counseling, see if he's open to that possibility as well. Make sure that you're trying to exert every single option before you go to the last option, which obviously is separation and or divorce. So make sure you're doing everything you possibly can do first to save your marriage, because we don't want to just jump ship every time, some hardship happens in a marriage. You know what I'm saying? So try to do everything you can possibly first to fix and rectify your marriage. And if you feel like he's not putting forth the effort and he's not willing to try and he doesn't want to rectify the marriage, then hey, do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself. And I know you said that you're depressed about the whole situation, and I hate that for you. I really do. And love will do that to you. Love will punch you in the gut and have you sitting down for a long time, sick and depressed about a situation. And I don't want that for you. I don't even know you, but I want the best for you. I want your marriage to thrive and continue to be successful and weather this storm and come out on the other end to where one day you guys can sit back and laugh about it and be like, you remember that one time you was thinking about getting a prostitute? Yeah. I want that for you. But in order to get to that point, you guys got to be on the same page and working together and trying to achieve that goal of having a successful marriage. And whether people want to admit it or not, sex plays a huge role in relationships, period. Is it the end all be all? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it plays a huge role in a marriage. So my advice to you, ask him, let him know that you know about the situation, and then continue on, ask him, has he done it yet? Why is he entertaining it? Is there anything that you guys can do to spice up your sex life? Offer marriage counseling. Offer everything that you can do on the table to help save your marriage. And like I said, if he's not willing to do that, then, you have a decision that you need to make. I don't know if kids are involved in this situation, which can also make it a little bit tougher and a little trickier to separate and or get a divorce. And again, I'm not advocating for you to leave your husband. I'm not doing that. I'm advocating for you to save your husband, but also take the necessary steps to make sure that you feel like you've done everything you could. So if and when you do have to make that decision, you can live with it knowing I tried everything I did to save my marriage. I did this, and this for my husband. He wasn't willing to try. So we just have to go our separate ways, because sometimes, the harsh reality of it all is sometimes we do grow apart from our partner. The same person we got married to 5 to 10 years later is probably not going to be that same person, which is where the hard work comes in, that you have to date your significant other every single day. But I ain't even going to get into all that. I'm not going to get into all of that. So I hope my advice to you helps you out, that you can sit down and have a uncomfortable conversation with your significant other in hopes of trying to figure this thing out so you guys can prosper and the relationship can grow. And like I said, you guys can look back and laugh at this one day. But anyways, I need everybody who is watching right now on the YouTube channel to hit that subscribe button. And while you hit that subscribe button, I need you to tell a friend to hit that subscribe button as well. If you can't sit down and watch the show, download the podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart. Wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you download and check us out, and also follow the Instagram page Conversations with Q23 as well. One last thing before I go. Check out this book, Young, Dumb, and Naive by Alicia Caldwell Henderson, that you can get on Amazon.com. But anyways, I've already taken up too much of your time. And also feel free, if you need, feel free to write the show, Conversations with Q at gmail.com. I'll put it in at the bottom so you guys can write in anonymously if you feel so. If you're uncomfortable with letting me know what your name is, you can write to me, and we can have a little conversation on here, and I'll get back with you. But anyways, I'm getting ready to get up out of here, and as always, I want you to treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mama, and I'm up at this thing, y'all. Peace.